I almost didn't buy this game, which is crazy. I mean, it only took me like 1 day to cave in and get it, but I don't know. It didn't entirely sell me to start off with. Like, I knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be fantastic. I don't know. I didn't have that kind of drive to get the game initially, for some reason. You know, we'd known about this game for a very long time, or at least I had, from, I don't know, I think about like 2020. We started hearing rumors about like a 3D Donkey Kong being made by the Odyssey team. That was like one of the big leaks from very early on, actually, which is quite cool. And then they showed it off, obviously, in the Switch 2 Direct, which, by the way, I sort of predicted like a few days before the Switch 2 Direct. You can look on my community posts, and I said new Donkey Kong ? So yeah. Anyway, seeing the game initially, I was pretty sold on it back then to start off with. It looked quite cool. However, the thing that was concerning me was I was worried that it was kind of just going to be all about smashing and nothing else, like I'm doing right now. Not as much other interesting gameplay parts, especially because back then we hadn't seen too much of it to start off with. It was only a teaser after all. But I was still confident that Nintendo was going to do... There's going to be more to it, obviously, and that they just hadn't shown it to us. But then I got a bit worried around the time the Mario Kart Direct came out, because that was a massive disappointment and they didn't show much, and I was really worried that they were going to do the same with the Donkey Kong Direct. And also because before all that, actually, they did the Treehouse as well, where they didn't show much more other than some of the very basic stuff at the start, and again just smashing around pretty much. And the Switch 2 hands-on experiences didn't sell it that much better either. It was basically the same thing. So going into the Donkey Kong Direct, they really hadn't shown us much extra. But during the Direct, that all changed, obviously. It's widely regarded as a very, very, very good Direct. And I have to agree. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. A lot of cool editing and moments, and just showing a bunch of features that we needed to see, unlike the Mario Kart Direct. They just didn't do too well on that, unfortunately. Not that that's going to affect Mario Kart sales at all. Yeah, so the Direct definitely sold me a bit more on it. But even then, I was still a little kind of like, I might pick this up at some point, but it might not be a day one thing. Even though what I was seeing looked really, really good. Like the Bonanza stuff didn't really... I wasn't too bothered by that. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'm still not too bothered. I've only got one so far, but it's nothing too crazy that I've... Maybe there's more stuff later on. There definitely is. Maybe that's really good. It's a cool thing. It's not like a massive like game changer for me, I felt. I'll get to the cool stuff later. But yeah, I wasn't, as I keep saying, I wasn't initially sold on the game. Even though I knew it looked really cool. And I knew I was going to probably have a good time playing it. I don't know. I just wasn't too intrigued. And also, I've spent a lot of money recently and I didn't want to spend any more. I recently just bought a new camera mainly for the channel stuff, which you can see on my members only video on the main channel about just my setup tour and stuff. I also show off the camera there. It's quite cool. It's from DJI. And that was expensive. I also just bought this capture card as well, which was also expensive. And I just didn't want to spend too much more money. I didn't want to feel guilty, you know, buying it. At the same time, though, I'm a Nintendo channel, so I probably should get it, is what I was thinking. So I figured if I find an excuse to buy it, I will. And that's exactly what happened. There was an accommodation deposit that I completely forgot about from last year that they're refunding me in like 2 days. And I got the email about that yesterday. I was like, oh shit, okay. There's an extra boost in cash. I'll just use that to get the game. And so I did, guilt-free. I also got to try out that download straight to Switch 2 feature, where you buy the game on the eShop on your phone, and it'll download it onto the Switch. I was just like walking down the street and did that, and by the time I came back, it was already like partially pre-downloaded. It's quite cool. And yeah, I got it. I started playing and immediately was grateful that I did get it. And kind of sad that I missed out on a day, because I got it a day after it came out. So, yesterday. And I feel like I kind of was late to the party, sort of. Even then, a day's not too late. But I've seen so many people online see, like, you know, finding cool stuff and everything, and I'm only here. This is what? World 3? How do you even see the map? How do you see the map? Anyway, yeah, so I'm not too far into the game. That being said, what I've seen is already really, really good, and it's really addictive. One, like, weird thing that I was hoping that this game would have before I got it was really satisfying HG Rumble. And it has that. It is so satisfying and addictive. It's super addictive to use that I just cannot stop smashing. To the point where, even if this was like the only gameplay feature, I'd probably be happy. It is just super satisfying to do. It just feels really good. I'm using the Pro Controller, and it feels really good in the Joy-Con 2s as well, but especially in the Pro Controller. Everything just has like a certain feel to it, like certain rocks will feel different, breaking sand feels different, and it feels like it should feel, you know? Breaking bananas as well, super satisfying. So yeah, that's weirdly one of my favorite parts about this game. Just the addictiveness and satisfyingness of just doing this. Barely even playing the game. It's super cool. And then the second thing that got me super excited was the music that I was hearing. For those that have played the game, you know the part where you get into Ingot Isle and that banger music is playing? That was like, oh, I was so happy with that. I'm a massive music fan, especially in Nintendo games. It was so good. It's just so good. The vibes were there. It was so cool. And throughout the rest of, you know, the game that I played so far as well, the music's been great. Little nods to previous Donkey Kong games. Like when you sleep in the, what's it called? The Getaway. It does some like little, oh yeah, it's the chime from the original Donkey Kong arcade game. Very cool. Stuff like that. A lot of other subtle references and mini games that are callbacks to, you know, like Donkey Kong Country and stuff. It's so cool. And the graphics as well. It feels like a proper next-gen game from Nintendo. Proper next-gen. Especially in 4K. The lighting is nice. It's nothing special. There's a little bit of aliasing, which can be slightly annoying, but it's not too noticeable. For the most part, it's really nice and smooth. 60 FPS as well. Super nice. Occasionally it drops to 30 FPS, but only if you're doing like the super crazy like effects, like breaking a ton of gold and whatnot. And even then, it kind of makes it feel cooler, knowing that you're just like doing so much in the game that the console can't handle it. Just breaking so much gold and whatnot. It's actually cool. So I'm really not bothered by frame dips or whatever. It sort of adds to it in a weird way. I haven't tested it yet, but GameShare seems really cool as well. And I'm wondering how they managed to get it done while also making this game look so good and having so much going on. Because I'm pretty sure GameShare works in... It basically streams the video to another Switch, either online or locally. Sort of how the Wii U did it to the Wii U gamepad. I'm not sure how they're managing to do that by, you know, basically rendering out a whole extra screen. While still being able to play in 4K and whatnot. I don't know how they managed to do that. Maybe this game was on the lighter side in terms of graphical requirements, and that's why. You know, maybe it was designed for the Switch 1 originally. Who knows? Weirdly, it's not in Mario Kart World, that feature. So maybe it is just this game is less demanding. I don't know. Regardless, it seems like a cool feature that I want to try. It's a shame that Player 2 doesn't have too much to do though. I think they... What do? They control Pauline? I'm not sure. So, it's cool that it's there, and I wonder how many other Nintendo games in the future are going to support it. Maybe Metroid Prime 4, but I don't think that will have... Maybe it will have a co-op mode. Who knows? Anyway. That stuff's all super cool. Yeah, as I said, the Bonanzas, I've only got one so far, and from what I've played with, it's cool, but as you can see, just from me playing, I don't use it that much. I've only got this guy so far, but I know there's the flying ostrich, zebra, weirdly. I think there's an elephant as well, apparently. I did see one leak of this game before playing, but only because I specifically set out to look for it. And I'm very happy that I found it. It's what I was looking for was quite exciting, and it does seem to be in this game. I won't spoil it, obviously, but it's very cool. I have a rough idea of what the story's going to be, and what, like, there's going to be some big plot twist towards the end, and I think I know what that's going to be based on the leak. Yeah, it just feels incredibly well polished and fun to play. The movement's good. I feel like the camera movement isn't too great. Nintendo's never been amazing with using the right stick as a camera to control things around. I think generally they like you to not even use it at all, or at least like design the game around not having to use it for, you know, more beginner players. You know, think of like 3D World or Mario Galaxy or something. I think Odyssey as well. It's just not ever really right stick heavy, and because of that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel too good compared to other 3D games that I've played. It's not bad, but it's, yeah, could be better. No, I can't break that. As you can probably tell, I'm not too bothered by the costumes either. Can you get them from here? No. They're cool and stuff, but I think starting off I just kind of want the basic default, you know, the classic Donkey Kong. If there's some kind of super cool cosmetic stuff that you can get later on, I'll probably use those. Actually, I'll definitely use those. It's just, I think early on is some pretty basic stuff that I'm not too bothered about. Like, I prefer this look without overalls. Okay, I should probably actually do this part for some good gameplay. Let's see.
Let's follow this purple stuff.
Let's follow this purple stuff. Controls overall are super fluid, as I was kind of mentioning before. Button mapping seems to make sense. I had to get used to using A as jump for some reason, but that all makes sense. The bottom button being B to break down, obviously. X to punch up. It all just makes sense. Like, to the point where I figured out a lot of controls just intuitively before they even had to teach it. It's just all very well done. So if anyone else is sort of like skeptical or on the edge, I would say I just highly recommend it. It's just it's one of those things that you have to play to realize. Like, obviously you can see people playing and you know, gawking at it and hyping it up and everything, but to actually play it is something completely different, and that's really the only way to actually get a realization of how good this game is. You know, I saw people saying, oh, it's Game of the Year potential. It's a mixture of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey and some weird Hulk game and even Kirby. And I was like, is it though? Or are you just hyping it up because it's brand new? They're entirely right. But you have to play it to believe it. It's crazy. Put it this way, there's no one I know who's played it who doesn't love it. Oh, I don't want to go here, do I? 14 minutes. Okay, I've been rambling for a long time. Yeah, I've just got lots to say. I might make I might make a video on it. I don't know. Depends how interested people are in something like that. Because obviously, it takes like a month to make a video. It has to be worthwhile to do. Maybe like a what's next for Donkey Kong or something. Could be good. I know they're potentially working on a movie, and they've done their Universal Studios expansion as well for the theme park. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about for that kind of thing. I don't know. I've also got a ton of other ideas that I want to get done as well. So I don't know. Maybe now would be the time to do it, wouldn't it? While the hype's here. But again, it would take a month for me to get it out at the earliest, and by that time, people might not be as interested in it. I don't know. Okay, I'll stop there because I'm rambling a ton. Subscribe.